Whenever you're ready, just scroll down to the verses. Thank you. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no rising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all led hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, which through the knowledge of path causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subdue as expound a variety of teachings. The one who is transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashamanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha.
This was the essence of the dependent origination mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light, and non-composite. Such is the nectar-like dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unseized, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times, I pay obeisance. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. All phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations do not transfer to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. Instructions on parting from the four attachments. If you're attached to this life, you're not a spiritual practitioner. If you're attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you're attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Recite the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, to the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides and said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme signs, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust-free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of false, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death.
Deyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Deyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Tyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Tyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Tyatha Om Gati Gati paragate parasamgate bodhi swaha.
That was the Hat Sutra mantra. And we'll finish with the aspirational bodhicitta verses. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of bodhicitta to resolutely accomplish the aims of others and myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests and shall engage in the delightful and excellent practices of full enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me, just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelt in the bodhisattva practices. Likewise, for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successively train in the bodhisattva practices. Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, Sneha, and all the participants. And many of you may be wondering where I am at the moment. We just finished a talk for the primarily targeted to the students, organized by Florent Dharma, a Ladakhi youth body organization. And we did that, and now we are doing this class here. So with this in mind, let us and all of us who are taking part in this program, this talk, I know that we all have a sense of, say, a deeper meaning, looking for a deeper meaning. And for this, the FPMT and the Shantideva Buddhist Center under FPMT, this is so inspiring to see that there are many centers flourishing under FPMT. And this is a great service to the Buddha Dhamma. And the Shantideva Center, all these many years, they have been there. And we've been associated, I think, the last 3 years or so. And there's always the extremely the joyful to see that the people have a sense of the seeking a deeper meaning, and not only themselves seek the deeper meaning, but also want to share, but let others also know that there's a deeper meaning. And so with this mind, I'm so glad that the Shantideva Center is organizing this program, and particularly this topic today is quite interesting. Usually we do this program, this topic, which is being picked up by the Sneha and the team as a part of the retreat, part of the retreat morning practice. And when the request came, I got a very strong feeling that this is indeed something which requires to be given as a separate topic to discuss and have teachings. So that makes for me personally, it gives me such joy. And thank you so much, Sneha and your team. And so with this first, what we like to do is that the setting proper motivation in all programs that we engage in, setting proper motivation is very important. So with this, as Sneha during the recitation of the prayers, yes, the setting the proper motivation set, let's reinforce the visualization of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, a particular Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, in a space in front of us, as so loving, caring, and embracing. And for the bodhicitta field, let us visualize your two grandparents and all the sentient beings with you, your children, your family members, everyone with you, human beings, animals, insects, hunter-gatherers, god and goddess, spirits, and everyone with you. And the purpose of our being together is to awaken our hidden treasure within us. And once this hidden treasure is awakened, no doubt that all our, say, mental pains, the painful tears will come to an end, will be brought to an end. At the same time, the treasure inside will manifest fully to the extent that you experience what is known as the infinite happiness and fearlessness. So with this mind, with this motivation, imagine that you are leading this practice and all beings are joining us in this 5 minutes of the Singaporean meditation. Ready, 5 minutes, and whatever meditation that you have been used to. But I would suggest that something which is very authentic, reliable meditation. So with this mind, 5 minutes. Thank you. Okay. So I see that they are most of you are already very familiar to me, and you're also very serious Dharma practitioners that I know you from long time ago. The first thing today, as I said earlier, that what we're going to the talk on is about the concrete practice. Usually, there are some practices they accept the foundation, and then followed by the certain practices which are to take us closer, and finally the actual practice. So what we're doing here is the generating the consummate mind, the yoga of the consummate mind. So that is the actual practice. So for this, the first thing that we need to know, be aware of, and acknowledge is the presence of Buddha nature within yourself, a presence of the hidden treasure within us. No matter who we may be in a different situations. So some people have very conducive factors for their Dharma practice, and some people less conducive, external speaking. And internal speaking, some people are more conducive in ways that they practice and instantly their mind flows into the Dharma practice. Some people they practice and their mind flows into distraction, feeling that this Dharma practice 5 minutes is you have done a lot, and then that your mind gets distracted to other things. So all these different things are there, no matter how, okay, those who are already doing good external factors, you have to acknowledge that you are in good external factors. You should rejoice in this. And those who are not in the conducive factors, try to create conducive factors, and don't expect that somebody will create that for me. We just try to create the conducive factors for you. It doesn't matter. I remember His Holiness the Dalai Lama many years ago, perhaps like 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, doing public addresses. His oftentimes says that some people they keep their regular room and the Dharma practice room separate, and then his own says that it's not necessary. But for some people, that would be very helpful. But why His Holiness says that it's not necessary is that His Holiness gives the rationale for this, that how much time we spend in the Dharma shrine room and how much time we spend in our on the other rooms. So most of the time we spend in the other room and not so much in the Dharma room. If that's the case, then the no point in creating a separate room for your dharmas. It's just like a declaration. Whereas if where you usually spend your time, if you turn that into a Dharma practice, Dharma space, then the moment you are there, your mind will just feel like doing the Dharma. Whereas you spend less time in the Dharma shrine and you spend more time in your regular space, then given that you spend more time in regular space, that thought will less likely visit you. So this is what is says, and that is really something which we need to keep in mind. And those who don't have such opportunity to create very spacious thing for your dharma, then I would say that try your best to create an environment of dharma in your own ways, and finally keep in mind that you too have a Buddha nature, seed of perfection within us. So with this Buddha nature, and no matter what happens to us, we never give up. This is very important. So in this connection, I also like to share with you what is known as, from my, say, limited knowledge, experience, I'd like to share what is known as 3 points, which I personally see as very important point, is that in our life of the Dharma, we require three things. With all the other things required, like teachers and the proper environment, so forth, we require three things from our side. One is the imprint for the Dharma. Then number two is the merit. And number three is the habituation. These three things. An imprint and habituation, many people may club them together, see them as one, but I would personally say that these two are not identically one. They have a great parallel, they can overlap, but they are not really one. So let me quickly explain this and then try best, you, me, all of us, try best to make these three things within us so that the whole purpose of a Dharma practice and to awaken a Buddha nature and for us to stop the tears of painful tears of samsara and to increase the happiness and spread the happiness to others, that make it richer and richer. First, the first is the imprint, that somebody who learned about the one language or concept or a taste. For example, each one of us, when we were small, you came from some other place, or you have a particular the attachment to one particular taste from your mother. And then within a span of next 15 years to 20 years, 30 years, you're going to cut off from that particular taste, smell, and so forth. Suddenly, you encounter with the smell, and instantly it gives a sense of nostalgia. So that is the imprint. That's the imprint. That imprint gets activated, and instantly nostalgia, you just feel like going back. So with the Dharma, if you have planted the imprint of the Dharma in a joyful way, next time you just hear bodhicitta, wisdom, and so forth, and your mind will just feel like nostalgia. It was so nostalgic that you want to go back to it, which means grab bodhicitta once more, grab the wisdom once more. So this is the imprint. The next is the merit accumulation. In the pursuit of the Dhamma, we require a lot of merit. For example, like doing the good things. For example, even the buying something which is of the low quality. Low quality, you don't require much money. A small amount of money is good enough to buy that. But to buy the really, really, really high quality ones of the same product, you have to pay a lot of money. Otherwise, you'll not get it. So you'll get the replicas or duplicates. You'll not get the original one. For the original one, you require a lot of money. So likewise, the real dharma, we require a lot of what is known as the merit. And many people ask, particularly today's the audience, today's people, they ask, what is merit? What is merit? And yes, merit is like the stamina, say a person to run a marathon. The person has to the person should be able to walk, run. Number two, not only run, should have the energy to sustain this running. That is known as stamina. And even though the person looks very thin and slim, doesn't mean that the stamina is less. Somebody who looks so strong and mature doesn't mean that person has stamina. Stamina is a very different thing, and the stamina takes you to complete your race, particularly marathon, not the short distance. And the attaining Buddhahood, this is like a marathon, not like a short distance race. It's like a marathon. It requires the stamina. It takes lives after life. So therefore, it requires a lot of energy. What is that energy? Energy of virtues. So I say, just in this life, knowing that, oh, there's a stamina there. There's stamina there. And I remember, this is a very interesting story. I remember that when I was in school, perhaps like 30 years ago, 37 years ago, when I was in school, I learned that I think it was from my teacher, one of my teachers, when I was in school, not in a monastery. And in those days, the The milk, you don't get it from the what is shopping malls and so forth. Local the local villagers, they'll carry the milk, the what is that, containers in the bag, on the bag, and then and then what they do, I don't know, they add water to it, and then we don't have to check if it is the pure milk or diluted milk. It's just white. So they are also very smart. They carry less number of milk, less amount of milk, and they add more water to this, and it makes by the time it reaches you, because it's very heavy to carry, so they take less, and they want more money. So by the time it reaches the destination, they add the water, and the water also we don't know whether clean water or dirty water. We don't. They are very strange, funny stories that I don't want to go too much into this. Then so one time there was an open competition, marathon competition, and during the competition, people expecting that in the school, what is that? Sports teachers were there, and the school teachers school students who were trained into this, they were there, and open. Anybody can join. And this milkman who brings the milk every day, he also took part in this. And who was the winner? The milkman was the winner. He was the winner finally. He had no training whatsoever, but actually he was going through training every day, carrying the milk from his village to the far away kilometers, many kilometers, and go there. So this was the training. He was building the stamina. And finally, in the competition, he was the winner. So this is the meaning of the stamina. Stamina is something with respect to the Dharma. Stamina is the stamina in terms of how we build up your virtues. Like this person, how he builds up the energy on a daily basis, running from his village with the container, a huge container of milk, and going to the different places to sell the milk. So likewise, we as like this milkman, we need to every day keep accumulating merit, keep accumulating merit. This is so precious for you and for me, for all of us. And the Buddha very clearly indicated that no matter how tiny the diamond is, it's still a diamond. It's so precious. No matter how minuscule virtue is, it's not to be neglected. This is so precious to be treasured. This is what the Buddha taught. So this is the stamina or the merit accumulation required for us. In other words, that for example, like say, even when we're eating food, just offer this to Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, connect. Remember Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, their qualities, and for example, say when you go out, they try to shun the negativities like anger and so forth, and in whatever little way that we could have some help to some others, just help. And then say for example, you are watching some the news and so forth, where, and then say even if it is to what extent it helps, it doesn't matter. But from your side, with the purest of heart, with the compassionate heart, for example, say there's a very important news or important thing with respect to showing solidarity, compassion, so forth, and there you click the like. It may not affect on the reality, but at least your compassion increased. So like this, and then you go on the way, you see a tiny insect lying on the road, you try to keep it in a safe place. And then likewise, when cooking food, draining the hot water, make sure that be mindful of your virtues. Be mindful that I should not drain the hot water in the sink directly, because how many trillions of trillions your sink outside may look so clean, but down in the drainage, we never know what that is like. We've never seen that. Trillions of the worms are there, insects were there, they are going to be killed. So be mindful of these virtues. In the process, your virtue multiplies. Eventually, these are the staminas for your journey to enlightenment. And what do you mean by enlightenment? For your own well-being, for your own benefit. That your fears come to an end, and your happiness increases to infinity. And that too, not only for yourself, for your family members, and for all the dear sentient beings. That is something that we can do. So we have imprint, and then the stamina or the merit accumulation, and then finally familiarization. Familiarization and the imprints, these two are slightly different. There's a nuance difference there, and these two overlap. But the familiarization is where the for example, let's say that the memorizing a text, it may be extremely difficult for somebody, but you do it, you keep doing it, and gradually it becomes easy for us. So the virtues, familiarizing yourself in the virtues. So initially it may sound a little difficult, but later on you will come to see that it's very easy. So the ease builds up. So these three things, and to be very honest, I've never seen these three things put together in any way on the text and so forth, but these are what I felt over the years. I thought these are three things that we really need to take note of, take care of, and we try to work in line with these 3 points. So having said this, finally, because I see that most of you are very familiar to me, and given that you are very strong on the inclination towards Dharma practice and so forth, so I'm not going to go into the basic the background of what is supposed to be required for us here. So to make it very quick, finally our Buddha nature. So finally, whatever we do, we do business, we do games, we do dharma, or we do singing, whatever. And whatever we do, if your Buddha nature is awakened, that is your path. So therefore, Buddha's teachings is extremely realistic and accords with the reality in ways that there's no hard and fast rule to say that this must be done. So the point is that whatever makes your fears become zero and your happiness expands to infinity, whatever takes you closer to that, that is your dharma. So if you think that by the singing all the time, this is what happens, do it, that is your dharma. But the reality is that there is what is known as dependent origination. Dependent origination meaning that what you seek, the results, they necessarily come into being by dependence on the earlier causes. This is universal law. It's not dictated by the Buddha. It is not invented by the Buddha. It is not what the Buddha theologically said that okay, you have to follow this. No, this is the law of nature. So Buddha appeared 2,500 years ago. And way before that, 200 million years ago, forget about Homo sapiens, 0.3 million years. 200 million years ago, at the time of the dinosaurs, law of cause and effect is operating. This reality, cause and effect, where one engages in virtues, happiness follows. One engages in non-virtues, miseries follow. This is the reality. And today, say, keeping aside all the religious beliefs, let's say somebody says that I want to become a Nobel laureate in physics. If you want to become a Nobel laureate in physics, you have to study physics. This is the only way. You cannot recite Om Albert Einstein, Om Albert Einstein. You cannot recite this mantra. You can recite this mantra and expect one day to become a Nobel laureate in physics. One day you will know quantum physics. One day you know relativity theory. Impossible. So this is what is known as a natural law of cause and effect. So Buddha discovered this cause and effect. Buddha discovered the law of cause and effect, and Buddha did not invent anything, just discovered this, and on this basis, the Buddha taught that this ye dharma hetu prabhava, all these phenomena arise from the causes, and what these causes are is taught by the Tathagata. So with this, the causes, because that the Buddha discovered that things are operating, the whole universe is operating. And if you believe in the Big Bang as the origin of the universe, and of course this is also disputable, being argued, being challenged by many other physicists, saying that the Big Bang is not only one Big Bang, there's multiple Big Bang. So just like Big Bang, Big Crunch, Big Bang, Big Crunch, this is what many physicists, they challenge this on this theory of the Big Bang, of the singular Big Bang. Okay, so with this, the cause and effect. So based on this cause and effect, we need to see that each one of us, we have this natural tendency to stay away from miseries and to expand our happiness. And just as we aspire for that, our mind has that capacity that is known as the Buddha nature. First, we have to acknowledge, we have to be aware of this, we have to know this fact that you too have a Buddha nature, you too have the seed of perfection. So this will give you an incredible great strength and power and the hope. So with this, I would say that in connection to this, or related to this, I would suggest each one of us to read Arya Nagarjuna's or study Arya Nagarjuna's text, the In Praise of Dharma Dhatu, so which is exclusively on identifying your Buddha nature. And once you are aware that I too have Buddha nature, you become extremely positive and full of hope, and you become very positive. And of course, this came from the Buddha's own teachings. During the third Tenet of Dhamma, Buddha gave teaching on the Buddha nature. So this is the first thing that we need to gain a deeper and deeper conviction. And of course, don't expect that you read the In Praise of Dharma Stava. You read it and instantly you become conscious. No, don't expect that. It's like reading quantum physics, book on quantum physics, and then suddenly you realize quantum. No, it'll take time. Take time, study more. And if possible, I would say that go for the systematic studies of the Dhamma, and then meanwhile, not to neglect reading, studying these precious texts like Nagarjuna's text and Dharmadhastava, so that you become more and more confident in a Buddha nature. And then meanwhile, try to correlate this knowledge that you've obtained with the people around you. People around you, some who are very beginners, some who are already the developed or matured, and see that the some people who are earlier seem to be extremely low IQ on the level, and then suddenly you see with the proper learning, correct information, complete information, and systematic information. Correct, complete, systematic, rather than digging too many wells with something, just mixture of everything, and then you end up nowhere. Go for a very correct information, systematic information, and the complete information. So with this, it guarantees you that you keep growing. This will happen to us. So with this in mind, the Buddha nature, then how to awaken the Buddha nature, then comes what is known as the consummate mind, generating the yoga of the consummate mind, which means generating the yoga of the consummate bodhicitta. So what is that? So this is the concrete practice which I would highly encourage each one of us to include this on a daily practice. And finally, we come to realize that within a span of time, it may take like, of course, don't expect let us not be too the positive or optimistic, that, oh, he said it and we do it, and then in a few months time, then I'll have the Buddha nature manifest. Don't expect that. Let us not be too optimistic, and let us also not be too optimistic that, okay, if I just flow in Dharma without proper learning, oh, Dharma, and then after 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, then I will have the Buddha nature awaken. Don't expect that also. We have to have say, no matter how much you are in physics department, but if you don't study physics systematically, you will never learn quantum physics, although you are in a physics department. For example, the people who clean this physics department, they never learn physics, So oftentimes we also have a false illusion that, okay, I've been into Dharma, I'm attached to a Dharma center, And then, okay, go like this. And then after 15, 20 years, then I'll be realized. No, don't expect that. So whether you're in Dharma center or not, the point is that we have to have fun, correct information, complete information, and systematic information. Only with this, I'm just amazed with my years of interacting with people. I discovered many times some people who are just within, say, a few months, their learning really became so good, just amazing, so inspiring. And some have been with Dharma for 14 years, 20 years. I ask some basic questions, still they're not there. It's so like I'm asking quantum physics. So it's all not because that the IQ level is low, it's because the person is not too serious. It's not too serious. After 20 years, and then I say, hey, practice Dharma. You have to meditate. Oh, I'll start from today. Already into 20 years. Now you remember to start. Okay, today I'll do it. So this is so we can't expect. Some people they're too optimistic that in few months you prefer and you expect enlightenment. Don't expect that. And some people they are too relaxed. And then with dharma, okay, I'm dharma, in dharma, I'm with this dharma center, I've this guru, that guru, that guru, that guru. So many gurus are there. And then the expecting that just having these gurus as the label, the tag, and then you become enlightened without effort. Okay, these are all illusions. So now, what should we do? This question. This is very important. So I wouldn't say that you have to do everything so rigidly right from the beginning. No, I wouldn't say this. Don't be too rigid. Don't be too rude on yourself. Don't make it too the rigid. Give flexible. Dharma should give us joy and try to engage in Dharma with spiritual joy. Start small. Start small. This will give you joy. And even if you feel so joyous, don't be too excited and jump to like 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day. Start small. Okay. So start small, and then as the stability builds, as you build up the stability, then try to expand it from your own experience. Okay, now what is that thing to be started? What is that to be practiced? For this, just try to follow, or try to just see whether you agree with me. This is very important. Your Buddha nature. In the first place, your Buddha nature, it is in the form of nature. It is in the form of the tendency. It is in the form of the potential. Potential means not yet manifested. Why it is not manifested? You have to check the reason. Reason is because that potential is obscured by something. So that is known as the obscuration. You have to identify the obscuration, and you have the diamond inside. And the diamond that you have, diamond Buddha nature that you have, and the diamond the Buddha Shakyamuni has, the diamond that His Holiness the Dalai Lama has, they are all identically same. No superior, no inferior. Yours one is by no means inferior to the diamond of the Buddha nature or the Buddhahood, which the Buddha Shakyamuni has, which His Holiness the Dalai Lama has. Only difference is that the diamond that we have is like the diamond in the ditch. But it's a diamond that Buddha Shakyamuni and His Holiness the Dalai Lama they have is like the diamond in the showroom. This is the difference. So ours in the ditch so that people think that there's no diamond there. But diamond in the showroom, everybody sees that this is a diamond. So actually we do have the diamond. So our diamond, ordinary people will dump it. But the diamond experts, the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they are the experts on the diamond of the Buddha nature. They see that a diamond in the ditch, they will pick you up, you, me, each of us like the diamond in the ditch. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas will pick us up and they'll clean this up, clean this diamond and put it in the shopping mall, put it in the showroom. It becomes a diamond of the showroom. So this is what we need to remember. So now the next is how to clean this. How to clean this. And don't think that, okay, if I sit like this, then Buddha will clean. Don't expect that. So the Buddha said that I show you the path and you are to follow this. Whether or not this path will take you to your aspired goal is entirely up to the individual. So the Buddha, how the cleaning, the Buddha will teach us the technique to clean this diamond. So it is us, for example, like Albert Einstein's son. Albert Einstein is such a genius in physics, and his son didn't become a genius. Forget about genius. He was least interested in physics. Although Albert Einstein, as his father, wants to teach everything what he knows to his son, but his son, there's no proclivity for physics. Instead, he's more interested in the Sigmund Freud. So Einstein has to contact Sigmund Freud to connect with his son, because his son is not interested in physics. So therefore, no matter what the Buddhas do, if we don't put effort, nothing will happen to us. Your Buddha nature will forever remain obscured. So what should we be doing? And what did the Buddha teach? Ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato hyevatat. What these causes are, what are these obscurations are, which obscure the Buddha nature, is taught by the Tathagata. Hetum tesham tathagato hyevatat. Tesham jayo nirota. The cessation of whatever these is also taught by the great seer. So how to bring an end, how to clean this diamond is also taught by the great seer, the Buddha. So what did the Buddha teach? This is the question. So with this in mind, first we need to identify what is the nature of this defilement so that we will know what exactly the remedy should be like. So for this, we come to most of us here. I see most of us here, you know what I'm talking about. Mental defilements which obscure the Buddha nature is of two kinds: afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations. And afflictive obscurations is nothing but the contaminated karmas, afflictions, inappropriate attention, and self-grasping ignorance. Or in short, contaminated karmas and afflictions and the active seeds. And all these will boil down to what is known as the self-grasping ignorance. So then alongside we see that the cognitive obscurations, the subtle stains of the afflictive obscurations. So these are to be remedied. And these all are somehow connected with the self-grasping ignorance. Some are the subtle stains of the self-grasping ignorance, and some are the self-grasping ignorance itself, and some offshoots of the self-grasping ignorance in the form of inappropriate attention, the gross afflictions, contaminated karmas. So with this, given that the defilements to be eradicated, to be cleansed, the somewhat connected, related to ignorance, the remedy that we need to resort to must be the opposite of that, antithetical to that, and that is the wisdom of emptiness. So we see that finally wisdom of emptiness is the one required to free us from the tears from samsara. Wisdom of emptiness. This is so precious. And historically speaking, till the Buddha Shakyamuni appeared, nobody taught the wisdom of emptiness on the planet Earth. It was only when the Buddha Shakyamuni appeared on planet Earth and that he, having sought the help of the two teachers, Acharya Alarakam, Acharya Uttirika, from whom he learned, the Prince Siddhartha learned the art of the meditation, and he reached such a high level of meditation, and then he realized that in these two teachers, they did not have the solution to stop the tears of samsara. So through his further search, inquiry, the Prince Siddhartha came to discover the wisdom of emptiness. So this wisdom of emptiness is one of the greatest legacies of Buddha Shakyamuni for the humanity and for all the sentient beings. Number one. So we require the wisdom of emptiness. Now, this wisdom of emptiness, for example, like the sharp axe. So we have several trees to be cut, poisonous trees to be cut. And some of the poisonous trees, they are very the weak, and some are very strong and huge. And this axe will cut which one? The smaller one or the huge ones? The experts say will not say. It's all determined by the strength of the woodcutter. Woodcutter, if the woodcutter, the strength is weak, then say just try to hit the huge, massive poisonous tree, and it can hardly even touch to, there's no hope. So he will cut only the small ones. Whereas if the woodcutter has a very strong the strength, really, truly the full of strength, then can cut the big ones. So likewise, this strength is the strength of your mind, the motivation. So not only the wisdom of emptiness, you also require the motivation to use this wisdom of emptiness to cut and to eradicate the mental defilements. And the motivation, primarily speaking, predominantly, there are two primary motivations. One is the basic motivation of renunciation, and next is the motivation of bodhicitta. And that too, we should be convinced of this. And given that we are all following the Mahayana path, the motivation should be bodhicitta. And bodhicitta, to one extent, you can feel that towards beings. It entirely depends on how much you feel it on yourself. If you don't have the experience of the pain yourself, then it's impossible that you can empathize with others. So, for that matter, renunciation required as a basic, the foundation for one to feel bodhicitta for others. So, bodhicitta is required that this wisdom can then cut all forms of the poisonous trees, the big and small, of both afflict and cognitive obscurations. So we require the motivation of the bodhicitta. Number two. Now for the bodhicitta, to feel this bodhicitta, we have to have a sense of renunciation. And oftentimes, the people, they feel that, oh, your renunciation is a very low dharma, so we are from the higher level. And then some people, they even say that, oh, we are from, no, the bodhicitta, they are sutra system. We are from the very high class. We are high, tantra system. We are high, the high yoga tantra and the dzogchen and the Mahamudra and so forth. And then in the Gelug system, oh, we are from the union of the clay light and we are talking about the clay light and so forth. And so this emptiness, bodhicitta, these are for for the beginners. We are from high level. So this is, people are living in the illusion. We are living the illusion. So first, we say to feel the bodhicitta, we need to have the feel of the empathy yourself. Okay, just let me let me quickly share this small anecdote. And these anecdotes, we should not take this as anecdotes. These are the things to be taken as a message for us, advice for us. I personally, it benefits a lot. Because that when I see that, okay, look, this person even doesn't know this much. Then later on, when I see that actually happening to me, then I realize, oh no, this is what I can understand now. So instead of feeling see the other person inferior, I truly respect the person. Compassion grows. Okay. So what happened was that there was a couple, a husband and a wife. And one day the wife was crying out of the toothache. And the husband asked the wife, hey, why are you crying? Why are you crying? And the wife said, I have a toothache. What is toothache? Tooth is a piece of bone. Bone does not have pain. Then they say the wife does not have anything to say. After a while, maybe after a few months or few years, the husband had a toothache and the husband was crying. Husband is crying. And the wife asked, why are you crying? And the husband said, I have a toothache. What is toothache? Tooth is just a piece of bone. So what the husband said before, that wife repeated. It's just a piece of bone. There's no bone, does not have pain. And he said that the female bone, female tooth and the female tooth and the male tooth, these two are different. Okay, so from this story, the message is that only if you have the pain, you can empathize with others. So bodhicitta is required, bodhicitta is directed towards the self. I should be freed from suffering. I should be freed from suffering to liberation, to nirvana. So only when you have this pain, otherwise in samsara it's very painful. when you feel the pain, truly the pain there, then you can empathize with each and every other sentient beings. Then you wish that may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. That is bodhicitta. So we have first the wisdom of emptiness, practice wisdom of emptiness. Next, the bodhicitta. And for the bodhicitta, the precursor required is the renunciation. So these are the three things which Lama Tsongkhapa very clearly indicated as the three principal aspects of the path. Now, alongside, we require shamatha meditation. Shamatha meditation to stabilize your practice, and shamatha meditation, and also then alongside more the sophisticated of this part is known as the special insight meditation, Hartong. Technically, in Sanskrit, it is known as Vipassana. Usually, I tend to not use this word Vipassana because to avoid the confusion with the very popular Vipassana meditation, which is predominantly more in the shamatha form. And then when you use the same word, people get confused. So therefore, not to confuse the people, I prefer to use the word special insight rather than Vipassana. Okay, but the Vipassana, 10-day Vipassana course, this is amazing. This is amazing. If people are there who who have done this or who are keen to do this, I would really, really encourage people doing that. Okay, but at the same time, simply because physics is so good doesn't mean that it can explain neuroscience. Don't forget it. So they say the Vipassana, that the 10-day Vipassana course, this is so good program. It doesn't mean that it equals the Vipassana that we are talking about in the main Nalanda stream. It's very different. It doesn't mean that one is superior, others inferior. So for that, you have to learn it more separately as to what exactly is the Vipassana in the context of the Nalanda tradition. So I don't want to go too much into this part. So in other words, say wisdom of emptiness, bodhicitta, renunciation, and the two of them to be reinforced with stability with the help of the shamatha meditation and the special insight meditation. So if in our practice, in our daily practice, if we can somehow incorporate these four, then whatever you are doing, whether you are in a center, no center, whether you are in a very, very remote place, wherever, you are so wise, you are going the journey to enlightenment, to awaken your Buddha nature, to stop the tears of samsara, and to experience the infinite happiness. So these four things are required. So with this in mind, tomorrow we have 1.5 hours. We will jump to explain each one of them very quickly, not in detail, because in detail we have to do minimum like 10-day, one day of how many hours, I don't know. 1 day of 3 sessions class, which is like a 3, 4, the 4 or 5 hours class, plus 2 hours of meditation, 7, plus 2 group discussions, 7, 8, 9, minimum 9 to 10 hours of strenuous study, meditation, group discussion in a day, like repeated for 10 days. Minimum this much required. So therefore, in 1.5 hours, we can do anything. But given that here, most of you are very senior, the senior students in the Dharma studies and Dharma practice. So I can just jump into the core of what I feel like sharing with you. I'll share this tomorrow. So, okay, so we'll stop here. And the Snehaji, if we can invite some questions from the audience.
Thank you, Geshe, for making the time. If anyone has any questions, if you raise your virtual hand, and you can unmute yourself, or you can post a question in the chat. I can't see all of you, so if you just raise your normal hand, I'll miss it. Geshe, while we wait maybe for other people to write their questions or ask, I will ask you a question. You know, you were
Yes,
talking
please.
about afflictive, in the context of afflictive obscurations, about inappropriate attention. And I was wondering if you
Yes.
could say something about inappropriate attention, what that means.
Okay, thank you. So inappropriate tensions. Let us think of this with example, it may be easier. So let's say that in your dream, okay, let's put it like this. By the way, I lost my mother when I was 5 years old. I don't remember ever that I dreamt of my mother since then. But my dad, I lost when I was in my 30s, and I had to dream of him quite often, quite often. So let's say that I dreamt of, after my my dad having left the world, I dreamt of him many times. And let's take one of the incidents that I dreamt of my dad, and it was nothing. It's just a projection of my mind as a dream dad, dream father. That was my dream. It's a projection of my mind. There's nothing from the object. So first I exaggerate, but I see dad as my real, objectively real existent, my dad, objectively existent person. So the first one, that is a self-grasping ignorance, viewing the things as objectively real. This is a self-grasping, the first one. Then comes that, who's that person? I check, who's that person? Then I exaggerate the quality of the person. After exaggerating that the person exists objectively, then the next thing that I exaggerate is the person. Oh, this person, not an ordinary person, is my dad. So I exaggerate. So that is the inappropriate attention. So difference between the self-grasping ignorance and the inappropriate attention is the object per se is viewed as objectively real. That is self-grasping ignorance. Then after viewing the object, let's say the person, the flower, the cheesecake, or whatever, as objectively real, that perception of the cheesecake, okay, let's move to cheesecake. Perception of cheesecake as objectively real, that is self-grasping ignorance. Ignorance which views things as objectively real. Once you objectify something, then you exaggerate the quality of this cheesecake. Oh, this cheesecake is amazing, made from this company, that company. For example, like the clothes, shoes, and so forth. There's nothing objectively real. You objectify the shoes or the dress, and then you exaggerate the quality of that. Oh, this is Chanel, this is Gucci, this is Louis Vuitton. You just exaggerate the qualities. Exaggerating the qualities of the object based on objectification of the object is known as first objectification of the object, and then you exaggerate the qualities of this object. Second part, exaggerating the characteristics of the object is known as inappropriate attention. So then this leads us to attachment and aversion. Where you exaggerate something good qualities there, you feel attached to. Where you exaggerate something undesirable, aversion arises. Then emotional reactions arise out of the number two. That is what Nagarjuna indicated as the afflictions, which he's referring to the gross afflictions. With the gross afflictions, then you engage in the activities. That's a karma, fight, and then trying to go for embezzlement and all these wrong actions. They are the karmas, negative karmas. Or say when you see something, then you try to help others and so forth. That is a virtues. So these things fall under the category of the contaminant karmas. Yes.
Thank you so much. That was such a clear explanation, Gisela. And Shanti has a question. Shanti, if you want to unmute.
Yes.
Hello. Hello,
Yes.
Geshe-la, and thank you to Shanti Deva Center. I have a question regarding what is the role of Guru devotion in this daily practice that we are doing, or in general in everyday Dharma practice?
Okay, so I would say that in this group, I will talk a little bit about Guru devotion. Otherwise, usually in my talks, I don't talk about Guru devotion at all, because it is like promoting the Guru hunting project. I don't want this to happen. So we are like promoting the Guru hunters. So somebody comes to a Tibet house. Luckily, people coming to Tibet house, the Guru hunter is not so much, because we never talk about the Guru devotion. And so here, because that people are very serious, I can go a little bit into the Guru devotion here. Okay, so to cut it very short, for Shantila, you are very serious into Dharma. So say I personally, yes, of course, I learned it. And then I personally started to realize it, that, say, your guru, it is like, say, your guru, what his realization says, what her realization says, we never know. It's totally obscure to you. But he or she plays a very important role. And the metaphor that I can give is that, say, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas there, we talk about Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are like the reservoir of the nectars, reservoir of the clean water. And the clean water is, let's say, 10 kilometers away from a place. And you need water, and you don't have water. So, and you know that there's water there 10 kilometers away from you. You know the water there, source of water there, and you require water. So, how to bring that? So, shift the reservoir to your place. Impossible. Impossible. So, the wisest thing to do is connect a pipe. Connect a pipe between the reservoir and your place. So that pipe is your guru. That pipe, what quality? Made of diamond, made of metal, made of brass, it doesn't matter. Whether you like it or not, this is only hope for the water coming to your place from this incredible vast reservoir of the water. Coming to your place is possible only with this pipe. And you say that this pipe is rusty, this pipe is not good, not bad, then you just cut it, finish. And then sometimes, so nowadays in the modern world, this is amazing, right? When the guru says something, in the first place, you are the guru hunter. You guru hunter. And then you hunter guru. Oh, he's my root guru, he's my root guru, he's my root guru. This happens everywhere. And then the guru says, hey, what stupid thing that you're doing? And then you said, I'll sue you. And the guru is sued, right? So what happens is that this water pipe says that, hey, you are not good, and you hit it with the hammer, and the water pipe leaks, and the water doesn't come to you. And sometimes the water pipes is so badly dented that the water doesn't come to you at all. So this is a problem. So guru devotion, in the first place, make sure that don't hurry to look for a guru. This is number one. This is so important. And study well, study the Dharma well. His Holiness says advice to us, like His Holiness spoon feeding us. Don't look for gurus. Look for your knowledge, Dharma knowledge. With the Dharma knowledge, then you will know who, on that basis, on your own knowledge, based on your own knowledge, you will know who walks the path, which the person teaches. Who walks the path? This is so important. So only when you're very confident, okay, this person, look at this. Okay, he teaches bodhicitta, he teaches emptiness, he teaches tantra, and what is his? In fact, I'm very fond of Tolstoy's the statement. He said that I don't want to listen to your religion. I want to see your religion in your action. This is amazing, powerful message for us. So this should be our guidelines to look for a guru. First, practice to see the religion in the action of that person. You have to know that religion yourself. You have to know the concept yourself. Study the Dharma well. Study the Dharma well. With this, you get some kind of barometer to check the parameter of that particular person. On that basis, then see whether the person truly reflects, or whether the person truly clicks with what I'm looking for as a guru. From your knowledge, if you see that this person is the really good for me over the years of your studies and knowledge and so forth, then you can take the person as your guru. Once you take the person as guru, that will not through popular fame. Oh, this Rinpoche, that Geshe, that Kempo, and so forth. This can be very dangerous, and then simply because of the fame. If you follow like this, oh, this is the last empowerment that this guru is giving, and then you go blindly, is very dangerous. So therefore, to make sure that you don't regret, once you take somebody as a guru, then don't they sue the guru. Don't sue the guru. Sue the guru, and you're creating a dent on the water pipe that you have, which brings water to your house. You're creating a dent. You're creating the damaging the water pipe. When the water pipe is broken, right? Finish. Then you'll not get water. So dharma is stopping the tears of samsara, tears of the painful tears. All gone. Again, go back to the what we call the square one, right? Again, back to hell realm, back to all the old stories of samsara. So this is what we should be particularly careful. So this, I'm talking to this audience, not to other audience. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Geshe. And we have one question in the chat, and
Yes.
the person is asking, I understand how negative actions cause sorrow, but it says the root of these actions is negative emotions. Can you please explain what negative emotions are and how to recognize and control them?
Okay, this is a very good question. Thank you so much. I say finally that all experiences of pain, joys, or success, failures, yes, we may blame the immediate causes, or we may identify the immediate causes, but behind these causes there is an unseen cause. That unseen cause is the karma. Say people who, with putting the same effort, some people they succeed, some they don't. So behind that, there is a factor known as karma. And as the question asks, that these karmas are said to be arisen from the emotions, and negative karmas arise from the destructive emotions. So the what do you mean by destructive emotions, and how to curb, how to terminate, how to minimize, how to mitigate these destructive emotions? So these are two questions there. In the first place, I would truly empathize with the English people who are dependent on English language for the Dharma knowledge. Empathize with you for the reason that the English, on the one hand, this is extremely rich language because of the Industrial Revolution, because of the Britishers, just spread everywhere. So this language becomes an international language. Although the Britain as the land is a very small land, but because of its, say, the expansion in the 19th century, 20th century, so therefore the language has really spread, and everywhere now this language becomes an international language. So they conveys many important concepts. First, Judeo-Christian concepts are all conveyed in language. Likewise, the Western philosophy, they're all conveyed in the English language. There are so many concepts conveyed in this language, and this language is a beautiful language. I truly appreciate it. At the same time, it doesn't mean that it's good in everything, because as the rich expands, it compromises in the rigor. That is a problem. What do you mean by rigor? Is that Tibetan language, particularly Tibetan script and the language, is primarily invented to accommodate the translations of the sophisticated Buddhist philosophy and psychology concepts into Tibetan language. Because of that, how it is designed is so sophisticatedly done just to accommodate the Buddhist concepts, the philosophy and so forth. So therefore, I would say that for the English, the language-dependent audience, Don't feel sad that, okay, now from what we're learning from him, we have no home, we are not getting the real, the core of the, no, this is not the point. Particularly, I would say that if you learn the Dharma from a living teacher, whatever language, but of course, the living teacher should have a command over the language, the target language, English language, whatever language, plus the knowledge should be good. If the knowledge is not good, be it Tibetan, you teach in Tibetan language, English language, whatever language that you teach, the student will not get full. So knowledge must be very good. This is one thing. If the teacher's knowledge is so good and then is taught in English, the student's job is to get the concept. Once you get the concept, you can be an extremely efficient person. Number one, for your own benefit, that you read any materials in English, you will see that, oh, okay, this translation is not too good, or this is so beautifully done, because you know the concept. From the vastness to the depth, profundity, you have both the depth and the width. So that way, given that you have such good concepts, for example, like here we have the Jeffrey La and the Laurie. So they were very fortunate to have received teachings from the Khensu Rinpoche and also from Jeffrey La. So Khensu Rinpoche is just an amazingly great scholar and enlightened master. So likewise, Jeffrey La, I truly, truly adore his knowledge. So he has the concept and he's teaching, expressing all these teachings in English, in English. So the students, they get the maximum. So the particular, I would say, the people who are dependent on the English language, what I would suggest is make sure that you are in the hands of good teachers. For you, the teacher is very important. With this, then you get the good concept. Once you get the good concept, then you can read any materials. You will not lag behind those people who rely on Tibetan language. So therefore, this is something that I would highly recommend. So with having said this, now the wrong the emotions, destructive emotions, in a standard translation for this is afflictions. Afflictions, you have to know the concept so well, to the extent that you don't mix up the concept of afflictions and the inappropriate tension. Don't mix up the concept of afflictions with the contaminant karmas. Don't mix up the concept of the afflictions with non-virtues. You make sure that these are well segregated. You know the concept so well. So afflictions here is well defined as a mental factor or mental function, the presence of which disturbs your mind. As simple as that. Once you know the definition, then you don't have to worry about, okay, the affliction, the destructive emotion. Some translators use destructive emotions. Actually, they mean the Sanskrit word is klesha, and the Tibetan word is myeonmong. It's a matter of translation. So you become very confident. So you have to know these concepts so well. Afflictions or the klesha and non-virtues. In Tibetan, migewa. There's a slight difference there. So non-virtue is something which pervades karma and afflictions both. And afflictions and afflictions can be non-virtuous, may not be non-virtuous afflictions. So all these distinctions you have to learn very systematic. As I said earlier, correct information, complete information, systematic information. You must go through these. Don't feel lured by, oh, this empowerment happening, that empowerment happening, or this retreat happening, this teaching happening, and no systematic studies. Then at the end of the day, there's no progress. So therefore, while we are still young, and some of you may think, no, I'm not young. Don't worry, you are the youngest of the lifespan that you're left with. You are the youngest today. Out of the lifespan you're left with, you're the youngest. So use this youth to study systematically so that the later you have no regret, that you know the concept so well that no matter what language that you are depending on, you don't miss, or you don't lag behind others. So the affliction or the what is that? Destructive emotion simply means in Sanskrit, Geshe. In Tibetan, it means nyonmong, and the definition is the presence of a mental function or a mental factor, the presence of which disturbs your mind. For example, anger, it disturbs your mind. For example, attachment, say mild attachment, you may not feel disturbed, but the excessive attachment, you see that is really a big disturbance. So when there's big disturbance, with the mild attachment, there's a mild disturbance. So this is known as a mental factor, the presence of which disturbs your mind. This is it. So we have to make sure that we learn these things very systematically, correct information, complete information, and systematic information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Geshe-la. And shall we close with our dedication prayers?
Yes, please.
Kungala, oh, there he is. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chandra, Zikten, and Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by all the Buddhas who appeared in the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the supreme bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times, and to the upholding of the Dharma of teaching and realization. May I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path: renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect view, and the 2 stages. May sentient beings again and again make offerings to all the Buddhas, and may they constantly be joyful with the inconceivable bliss of the Buddhas. Thank you so much, Geshe-la. Good night. And thank you for spending your very long day and evening with us, teaching the Dharma.
Thank you, Sneha ji. Thank you so much. And thank you all the participants. Thank you. And Kungala, thank you all. Good night, good morning, good afternoon. Have a good day, all of you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Kungala.
Thank
And
you,
to the
ma'am.
whole Tibet House team. Bye-bye. Good night, everyone. Good night.